Welcome to OneCloud CX's System Administration Wallboard series. Today we will be getting started with the last part of the series, wallboard construction. In this video, we will construct a basic wallboard to explore the capabilities of the wallboard editor. When you click to create a new wallboard, you are prompted to choose the type. These types are merely templates which will give you different pre-built wallboard configurations. If we choose empty, we will get a wallboard with 12 empty widgets. I'm going to delete all of these so we have a completely open board. In this video, we'll construct an inbound-oriented wallboard to track my agents and services involved with incoming traffic. I find it's nice to have the date and time somewhere on the board, and I usually end up putting that somewhere in the top left corner. The widget doesn't have to be too big, though 2 by 3 seems appropriate. I consider myself a pretty funny robot, and I like to share my sense of humor with my robot agents. I'm going to be displaying this wallboard on a large monitor in my contact center, so I'd love to share a new joke with my agents every day. I'll drop in a text widget, title it Joke of the Day, and include today's joke. I find the Agent State Summary widget to be a very nice and concise graphical representation of what my agents are up to. I'm responsible for just the GMJ transport team, and will be displaying the wallboard in their section of the contact center, so I'm going to include just them. The Agent Grid is a very useful widget for this kind of wallboard, as it can give us a vast range of metrics related to each agent. Once again, I'm only going to include my GMJ transport team. Here we can also select which states an agent has to be in to show up on this Agent Grid. I'm interested in seeing all of my logged-in agents all of the time, so I'm going to check all of the states. I don't have any subteams, but I don't care about my logged-out agents, so we'll check this limit here. I do indeed want to include column headings, as these will show our statistic titles in the grid. I have 6 agents in my team, so I'm going to set the max items to show as 6. I'll leave the first column as first name, last name, and make the title agent name, even though I already have the agent states summarized in the bottom left. I also want to see each individual agent status, so I'll include state here. I would also like to see how long an agent has spent in their current state, so I'll include state duration as well. I'm also interested in seeing how long each agent spends on incoming calls on average. Occupancy will tell me what percentage of the time an agent is available versus busy on an interaction. Lastly, I'd like to see how many inbound interactions each agent has handled. This looks good, so we'll hit OK. The Agent Grid now populates with our selected metrics and updates in real time. Don't forget to save your work once in a while by clicking the check mark. Another useful widget for this board would be the Service Grid. This widget monitors individual services with a wide range of metrics available. My team is only involved with the GMJ services, so I'm going to include those. I selected 4 services, so we'll set max items to 4. Again, we'll leave the first column as name. Right next to that, I would like to see the total number of inbound interactions that each services agent has handled. I'm interested in seeing how time-intensive each service's interactions are relative to each other, so I'm going to include the average handle time for each. It's important that I can constantly monitor the queue for each service and ensure that it does not build up, so we'll include the number of people sitting in each service queue. We also want to ensure that the abandonment rate is acceptable, so we'll include inbound abandoned. For the customers that did get through, we are giving out phone surveys to gauge my team's performance. In this survey, we're capturing customer satisfaction and Net Promoter Score, and I'm interested in seeing how those KPIs develop throughout the day. These 2 grids add a lot of text-based information, which is very handy, but wallboards are a visual tool. We could use some more graphics up here. I want my agents to keep in mind that their work is time-sensitive, and as a team we need to maintain a reasonable waiting time. Thus, we're going to include a gauge which averages the estimated wait times across my team services. In our case, a wait time of 2 minutes is starting to get high, so we'll have our gauge warn us that the wait is getting high by changing to a red color at 2 minutes. If the average wait time reaches 3 minutes, our gauge will give an audio cue. We'll set the maximum on the gauge to 5 minutes and hope we never reach that. My team has a goal of 200 products sold per day. It would be a good motivator to display how much we have sold throughout the day so we can have an understanding how we're performing on a given day. I'll drop in a gauge widget and choose count of selected dispositions and select just the products sold to disposition. We'll set our warning for 100, alert at 150, and the max 200. In the last bit of space here, I want to highlight how much my team is getting done through the day, so we'll aggregate the handled calls across all of the team services. Now, our wallboard is completely filled up. Let's make sure to save our wallboard. Now that we are finished, we will push this board to global so any of my curious agents can open it as well. Thanks for following along, and I hope you learned more about OneCloud's Wallboard feature. For more information and trainings on our product, visit us at support.onecloud.com, and we'll see you in the next series.